Morning, Coach Talley.
Good morning.
Despite an abbreviated game on Saturday, which will go down as a 34 victory for your team, Northwestern faced some adversity. How can the Eagles as a team come away stronger from that game against Crown?
Yeah, there's no doubt there was adversity such as I'd never seen before, and I don't think Coach Heave had either. But it brought us together, not only just our team in and of itself, but with Crown as well. And you have Christian brothers out there, coaches and players that are doing their best to try and glorify God. And in the long run, even though people got hurt in the game, you never want that to happen. It is a part of the game, and there was a lot of prayer in that field on Saturday afternoon at Crown.
People have asked about the status of Javon Snelson, your player that went down during the game. Can you give us an update on Javon?
Yeah, Javon went to the hospital there right after he was knocked unconscious. Went to the hospital, was released a few hours later, and that was great to hear as we were driving away on the bus. It was a real praise for that to be the case. And ran into him again here this morning on Monday, and he's moving kind of slow. Still has a slight headache, but seems to be doing better than I thought he would be at the time of the incident.
That's great. Prior to taking the job here at Northwestern 12 years ago, you were the head coach at Crown. What's it like to be back on that campus for a game, usually every other year? And what's your relationship with with Coach Auer, who's there now and has led the Storm ever since?
Yeah, some very good memories from my time at Crown, our time at Crown. My wife taught there as well. Great place, beautiful campus, some great people. Most of the people, all the people in the athletic department are gone from the time that I was there. But just love going back and being a part of playing Crown each year. And of course I walk around. I'm kind of a guy that likes to reminisce a little bit, maybe too much, so I walk around the campus and just think of the different things and people that were a part of my life and my wife's life at the time, and the girls as well. And John and I have been able to connect quite a bit over the years, whether it's meetings or film exchange, things like that, and it was pretty cool for us to be able to work that out on Saturday. It's tough on both sides of the football to make a decision like not continuing a game, but it was most appropriate.
The last time you had a Northwestern team win 6 straight games was 4 years ago in 2008. Have you ever referred back to that season this year to compare notes for a possible repeat recipe for success on the field?
Yeah, I know that 2008 was a great year. We had great leadership like we do this year. Have reflected back on that a little bit, not certainly with the team. None of those guys were around. Leckler was around at that point in time, and I think Alex Zeller was around as well. But for the most part, those guys don't have real memories of that. And so we're always trying to teach the men about leaving a legacy, and certainly that group did, and we're just kind of standing on their shoulders.
We've never really talked about your process as a head coach in terms of game planning and so forth. Would you mind sharing a little bit with your audience what a weekend looks like for you after a game? Do you give yourself some downtime on Saturday, or is your attention immediately turned towards your next game and your opponent before your head hits the pillow that night?
You know, I've for the most part, I've always lived pretty balanced, and so I don't spend a whole lot of time preparing for the next game until Monday morning. There'll be some Sundays where I go in and watch the game film from the day before. So we're pretty unique that way. We don't meet as a staff on Sundays. We don't watch film together. We watch it individually, and so really I don't get a real strong look at what we did on Saturday until usually Monday mornings, and then it's game planning for the rest of the week and the next Saturday all day Monday, and certainly getting ready for practice throughout the rest of the weeks.
Thanks. This week you're back at home against Martin Luther, a team that gave Greenville a little bit of a run for its money in New Ulm on Saturday. Does much change under their head coach Doug Lang from year to year? I know they've used multiple formations throughout this season.
Yeah, Doug has done a great job of getting a lot of great play out of his young men, and so it's going to be a challenge this week. It always is when you play Martin Luther, and so we look forward to the challenge. I know specifically on defense, but also offense, they bring some challenges as well with their defense, and For the most part, things are the same. I mean, this year it took them a while to find a quarterback, and it looks like they've kind of settled in with a young man right now, and he's a very talented athlete. So we'll have our work cut out for us this week with Martin Luther.
As you've mentioned, they have a quarterback that has shown they can run the football. Did yesterday's Vikings game make you think twice about game planning at all for this week when Robert Griffin III exploited the weaknesses of the Vikings defense?
Yeah, certainly didn't think of our game, but there are some similarities there to where once an option team kind of gets you going, it's tough to stop, and certainly the Vikings had a tough time yesterday, and we're going to do everything we can this year to not allow for their quarterback to get turned loose at any time, but he's a great athlete, so we'll see what happens.
Your team scored 5 straight touchdowns last week to start the game at Crown. How important is it for your offense to get off on a good start this week? And does your defense feed off on the offense on the field?
Well, we love playing defense. I think our defense has played really well this year. And yet, in a lot of ways, your best defense is a very good offense or a great offense, and that's what we have right now. Our offense is really clicking, and so as long as we have the ball, they can't score. And so I think that's real important.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your input this week, Coach, and we'll do it again next Monday.
All right, make it a good day.